Minimum wage workers in Michigan are starting the new year with a pay raise. Today, the first of two minimum wage increases took effect. News 8's Demetria Sanders has more on what the pay hikes mean for workers and businesses.
The increase that started today is one of the many adjustments slated for Michigan's minimum wage system, and some workers are continuing to push back against the changes. As the new year gets underway, minimum wage earners in Michigan may see a few more bucks on their next check. Wednesday, the state's minimum wage increased from $10.33 to $56 an hour. The tipped hourly wage was also raised from $3.93 an hour to $4.01.
What's been the basic system in Michigan for the last few years has been for it to go up at the beginning of the year.
Next month, another increase is on the way. The hourly minimum wage will jump again to $12.48, and the tipped wage will raise to $5.99 an hour.
I mean, that's extremely rare because most of the times this is going to go up once a year or whenever the legislature gets around to it, depending on which state you're in.
The second set of increases comes from a 2018 ballot initiative, which led to a years-long legal battle and even tension between state lawmakers. By 2028, the state's minimum wage will gradually increase to $14.97, and by 2030, tipped employees will earn the same as the regular minimum wage.
So what we expect to see is that bigger chains and bigger firms will be able to eat this cost differential better than smaller businesses.
We have to be very strategic about it.
Judy Hissom, owner of the Early Owl and Dr. Rolf's Barbecue in Muskegon, has been preparing for the changes.
We will feel the impact. We have a lot of front of the house staff.
She says her business is looking at how the wage hikes will impact customers and employees.
Do you pass that cost on to your customers, or do you absorb it another way? And you know, in the restaurant industry, profit margins are small, so we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room to work with when you're talking about that kind of raise across the board.
And Hissom says some workers have said they don't want the raise because of its potential impact on tipping.
It'll be more of a steady income across the board, but it may actually be less income for our tipped waged employees.
Now, Isley says it's hard to predict how many businesses won't be able to withstand the increases, but he says we will best know in a few years. In the newsroom, Demetria Sanders, News 8.